Alright, Shalom, Kahal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. This is your brother Ahwar making a video to feed the sheep, to edify the lambs. Shalom to the Akim, wa Akwathin not gonna be watching this video. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Rakatham, Kahal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. And now I'm gonna just have this video on in the background while I get the scriptures. This time I'll give you guys something to look at. Is something different, obviously. Usually I got the article up or something, but it's kind of nice and engaging. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted by it just looking at it and speaking right now. Okay, but there was an article I read and it was going into increased poverty happening in the UK and around the world, due to the COVID and due to the shutting down of businesses and people being out of work, families not being able to make as much money and being able to feed their children, right? And a lot of scriptures came to mind, and I was reading Second Ezra and it made me think about how Ezra was thinking about what would happen in these times, and that the elect have to go through these hard times and tribulation and make it out of these evil times, right, as a witness and a testimony before the kingdom of heaven is established on the earth, before Yahushua can come and deliver his people. These prophecies have to come to pass. The evil has to come for the good to come, right? So hopefully I don't get copyrighted for this, but let me get a starting precept, because in our hope is the kingdom of heaven. And the Most High promised us, shoot, let me start off with Deuteronomy 15 then. The Most High promised us so much good would happen to us in the kingdom, right? It's not gonna be like this. Things would only get better in the kingdom of heaven for us. Starting with the rest. And the Most High likens us to sheep. He likens us unto a vineyard that he planted. He likes us unto different things. You know, when the sheep are outside in the field, they ain't resting. But when the shepherd comes and gathers them back into I forget what they call it, the fences and all the stuff, they're safe. The wolves can't catch them. No animals can come break into it, and they're being fed inside there, and they're safe and sound. Right? The Most I said, we compare this to a plant, and how we turn into a degenerate plant to him, a strange vine. Well, in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna be a plant, a garden that the Most High is constantly keeping well, constantly watering and constantly giving fertilizer and nutrients. You know, the waters are gonna rain on it. The sun's gonna come out, shine on it. Right, so this is Acts. So I was gonna get Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So, for starters, the beginning of this promise. So let me take a sip of this. Got some French vanilla. He says, if you keep my commandments and do what I tell you to do, I'm going to put you above every nation on earth. We're not going to be under, we're not going to be equal, we're going to be above everybody. We're going to call the shots on the earth. We're going to tell people what to do. People are going to have to work for us. Right, the same way the so-called white man calls the shots right now. He puts sanctions on people. People got to learn his language. People want to dress like him. People want to learn his ways. and he thinks his businesses and his establishments are gonna be forever. That's how it's supposed to be for us. Verse 2, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power. He says, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Right now we ain't blessed in the city, and we ain't blessed at work. Right, we in the kingdom of heaven, we ain't gonna worry about a brother having an evil eye towards us, or we ain't gonna worry about another nation coming to gun us down. If we do work, we're gonna have our servants, the ones send our work to, and we're gonna be diligent in the work that we're doing. Any businesses, any things that you want to set up, of course you're diligent to run it, right? But it's gonna be abundant in the kingdom of heaven. Or the Most I say, they will lend to you, will lend to them, and they shall not lend to you, right? Verse 4, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Most High shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Right, when the Most High is with us, when we're keeping His commandments, He's with us. So no nation would have been able to get up over us if we were keeping His commandments. Right? They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Most High shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. The Most High shall establish thee an holy people unto Himself, as He hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy power, and walk in His ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee. And you see, people don't know that we're called by the name of the Most High. Now we're proclaiming it now, and the people are finding out. But they didn't know before. Right now we've been called. We still have the labels of Black, Latino, Native Indians on us, and they would be afraid of us, knowing who our power is. And the Most High shall make thee plenteous in goods, and the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Most High swore unto thy fathers to give thee. The Most High shall open up unto thee His good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in His season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Most High Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only. And He said we're going to be above only. Didn't Yahweh say that John the Baptist was the greatest among them born of woman? But nevertheless, in the kingdom of heaven, the least is going to be the greater than John the Baptist. That's how great even the least among us are going to be in the kingdom of heaven. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh thy power, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, or to go after other gods to serve them. So this, believing on this and doing these, first you have to have faith in this, right? That if you keep these things, that the Most High will bless you in these things that He says He will do. You have to have faith, but also you have to have works, because He says that if you do these things, that I will do this to you. Right now we're in the situation where we got the curses on us, so we're at the bottom. We're at the tail. We're getting gunned down. We're cursing. We hate each other. All the curses, y'all know these curses with the bywords and everything. So I just read the blessings, and we out here keeping the commandments and trying our best to get the blessings on us. Oh, let me skip the sad that's coming. Right, we want those blessings to come on us. That we believe in those blessings through faith, though we haven't seen it yet. The same way Abraham got up out of his kindred, and I was ready to offer up Isaac as a sacrifice. He had faith and the works. So this is Hebrews 11 and verse 1. And it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Right. We only have the account that the Most High made these things. Right? And do we see it? Right? You can't go back in time and fact check it. Be like, let me see if I can go and see how the Most High did it. It's there. You can't really question it at this point. But there's things that's to come that we don't see. And what we're seeing right now is the downfall of this kingdom, and the Most High promised us the next world. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. 6 start at 8, and he said, start at 6. 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we believe that through the end of this world, the Most High is going to set up the kingdom of heaven, the next world, which is the kingdom of heaven is going to stand forever, and we're going to rule it forever. Under Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Right, Ezra was curious about how the end was going to come. And the Most High was asking, why are you worried about the future and not asking about your present time? So I'm going to read this, 2nd Ezra 7 and 15. Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Right? So Ezra, through the book of Ezra, we living in the prophecies of Ezra. And Ezra is inquiring about the end times. And a part of me bringing up that article is that in the end times there'll be lots of famine, death, and destruction, and that be the main time of Jacob's trouble before the kingdom of heaven has to come. Where it says in Daniel, let me get that. Right. In Daniel says there is that was it. That Michael, during the time of Jacob's trouble, Michael's gonna come. Right? When has this has never happened in history before? So it's a future prophecy. And people talking about a Jewish man had a great atrocity happen to him. Even Michael didn't come and save him. So something worse is happening. It said there wasn't a time before, and there ain't gonna be a time after. This is Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. Then Michael's going to stand up for the Israelites. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. This is we talk about in the book of Revelation, that the book of life was open before the Most High. So let me get Acts 14 and 22 real quick, and go back into Ezra. This is Acts 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So we have to go through these things, these evils that's getting ready to happen on earth before we get the kingdom. That's why it's essential to what is saying Peter, to hastening the day. Or even the Most High, whether we want to hasten it or not, the Most High say He's going to shorten it. Oh, let me get that. This is 2nd Ezra 7 and 3. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it, and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So the Most High is saying there's a sea that no one has set foot into, that's out there for a man to rule. But he can't get through the sea unless he goes through the river, which is narrow. Right? So now he's gonna say, give another similitude or example. Verse 6, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. This is the kingdom of heaven. Right? The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Right? What is Yahushua saying? He's the way. You have to come to Yahushua. You can't come through no other way. And he say any man who came before him was a thief and a robber. Right? The kingdom of heaven, like the salvation, the key to salvation came when Yahushua shed his blood on the cross. From that it was sealed. But now we still gotta walk through this narrow and straight path to get to the kingdom. It says, if this city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, what's the inheritance for the children of Israel? The kingdom of heaven, the promises, the everlasting covenant. How shall he receive this inheritance? How shall he receive this inheritance? Like I jumped. Verse 10. And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so it also is Israel's portion. So this is our portion. We have to go through the narrow path to get our promises now, our kingdom now, right? Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done, right? Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. Back in the time of Adam had rulership over everything. Right, all the other nations, he was on top. Right, but what happened? We as all our elders say, right? When something's just given to you, you don't appreciate it. So now the Most High is making us work for it. We gotta go instead of when Adam was already born immoral from when he sinned. That's when death came, right? So now we have to get back that immortality, to get back that rulership, and the safety and the broad. We have to go through the narrow. We went from 100 to 0. Now we gotta go from 0 to 100. And the Most High is gonna give us a 0 to 100 even better than we were at before. And it's never gonna end from that point on. So what do you say? He made the world for our sakes. What? Because everything belongs to the Most High, and the Most High gave Yahushua dominion over everything. And we being the Most High's firstborn, right? We are partakers in everything inside the world too. That's why we can inherit the heathen. That's why we can inherit these different lands. So then the Most High asked him in verse 15 and 16, why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come rather than that which is present? Because yeah, he ain't gonna go through it. Well, he's gonna go through it in the regeneration, but not in that time when he was writing and inscribing it down. But this is that time now, right? Where the Most High say he's gonna bring famine, death, and destruction on this place. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna go to verse 21. For the Most High hath given straight commandment to such as came what they should do to live. Right? He told us, but he told us a long time. Us, our forefathers, keep my commandments and I'll keep you on the top. That's all he said. And I'll keep you in this land. Nevertheless, even the Most High say he didn't give us the land because we were being righteous. He gave us the land because the Canaanites were being wicked. Yes, it is our land. He promised it to Abraham and our seed, but we were being wicked. They were being wicked. See, look at this, Deuteronomy 9 and verse 5. For not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thine heart dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations Yahweh thy power does drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which Yahweh swore unto thy fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand therefore that the Most High thy power giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. Remember and forget not how thou provokest Yahweh to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt until you came unto this place. You have been rebellious against the Most High. So how much more in the state? Well, how much more rebellious will our people be when they don't know who they are, right? When they don't know who their God is. And if they didn't keep the commandments back then, they definitely ain't gonna keep it now. In a dead state. Right? But this time the Most High gonna give it to Israelites for their righteousness. Right? First of all, Yahushua is an Israelite. Right? And he was the ultimate sacrifice. But now we're gonna get it for our righteousness this time. That's why you wanna try your best to fulfill the law, keep these law, statutes, and commandments, and rehearse these righteous acts, and being faithful unto death in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right, we don't want to be cut off in like the rest of these people, and these heathen are of our people, and the rest of these heathen are again ready to be cut off in the end times, which I'm about to read a little bit of the things that's going to happen. Which the article is talking about. People are going into poverty. Yahushua said, "Woe unto you that give suck in those days." He was talking to the Israelites back then, the Jews, but it's the same thing that applies to this time. What happened? The Israelites when the famine came in Samaria and in Israel, they were the women were eating their children. People were when the Babylonians came to besiege Jerusalem, the Jews we were eating our babies and cannibalizing each other, and that was a part of the curses. So it's gonna happen again. While the heathen are gonna be suffering these curses too. Esau's gonna be eating babies, cannibalizing. Jake's gonna be eating babies. All the Arabs are gonna be doing. Everybody around the world is gonna be doing it. And especially if you win in America, you're gonna be hit hard. And the Most High not protecting you, you gonna die to death. And if you make it through the famine and the sword, you're gonna get killed by the missiles. Right. This is 2nd Ezra 6. So let's go into the vision, a little bit of the vision that the Most High was telling, that Ezra was so curious about. Right. It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 21. And children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The woman with child shall bring forth untimely children. or 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up untimely children. Right? Let me look that up real quick. Happening or done at an unsuitable time. And now ain't the time to be having children. Right? If the Most High ain't with you, your household's good, your household, you're done. Happening too soon or sooner than normal. And even with the children nowadays, they growing up fast, man. It's like the girls nowadays, 16, 15, 14-year-olds be looking like 18-year-olds, man. These kids be moving. These kids they be trying to move like they be 13, be trying to move like they're in their 30s out here, in their 20s. They grown. But that's their inheritance, because there's times that are coming up real soon, man. People are gonna die. At least the mercy's on them that they get to kind of grow up quicker and experience this before it's gone. Okay. Now verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Right? We're talking about the farm fields. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Your grocery stores. Right? Convenience stores and small mom and pops. All that stuff's gonna be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, and when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. What's that trumpet? It's gonna be them sirens when the missiles pops off. Y'all see how I wanted to get a water screensaver, but y'all seen how they were tripping in Hawaii when the screensaver what's it called? Not screensaver, I mixed up my words. When the missile alarm went off. Hawaii. Let me see if I can find it. People were scrambling, man. There was this one girl when she got it on her phone, the first thing she did, ask her boyfriend, "What do we do?" There's nothing you can do. You're dead. Let's see. You just might as well just sit there and die, okay? There's nothing you can't escape. You can't escape it. You just want to get the main part of it. See, people were running. The siren went off. All right. Let me see. I'll play a little bit of it. It says emergency alert: ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not the shelter ain't gonna help you, right? Maybe if it's like one, but the way the Most High is finna have these nations shoot it all off on America, the whole place is gonna be done.
Ballistic missile to Hawaii to seek shelter, and that it was not a drill, did send out a sense of panic to folks here.
Right.
People trying to figure out where exactly to go, what exactly to do, knowing that emergency.
People were freaking out. Now, how is it gonna be when you see it's gonna look like thousands upon thousands of missiles about to pelt you, right? And there's no way you can escape the death that's coming. What are you gonna do? Right? Verse 24, and now it jumps a little bit. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, going into the race wars, right? And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Right? It says, whosoever remained from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. Because some of us, not all of us, are gonna die. You gonna get these new bodies. You're gonna get beamed up on them chariots, and you were never gonna die. But you're gonna see some brothers are gonna die, and they're gonna be on them chariots. Right, but Yahweh Shai being the perfect example, he showed you what you got to do. The Most High gave him rulership over everything, and he still had him die. That's the first thing that the Most High created, Yahweh Shai. It's only his only begotten son, and he had him die. So he's our prime example to be faithful unto death, if we need be. And all of us got to bow to him. He's the top shot. He's the top Judite. Alright, Yahweh. Now it says, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out and deceit shall be quenched. Right, because it said that the devil is going to go out and deceive them that dwell upon the earth again. Which was after Rome fell, right? And what they call the Dark Ages. We had these Edomites in subjugation, right? But then the Most High had us fall and then come back into rulership again during the Renaissance. And now ever since then, now all of a sudden they painted over the images, and everyone thinks, who the world legally calls Jesus Christ is a white man. They think the Most High is a white man. They think the Jewish man is the actual children of Israel. Esau is destroying the whole world, but everyone's just blinded by the lights that he puts on in his media and damn America, New York City and all that. They don't care. They're just blinded by the Western civilization, the Western society, man. Them billboards and the celebrities and all that shit. They don't care. But you see how beautiful. You guys gotta imagine. You guys gotta picture and imagine these things. The Most High's talking about right. Let me read the 2 Ezra 7:42. He says, "He answered me and said, This present life is not the end, where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak." Right. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time. What's the day of doom? The day of the Lord, the vengeance of our power. Spoken about by the gospel. Spoken about in the gospel. Right? Shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality for to come. And that immortality is only for the Israelites. Wherein corruption is past, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed. Who's going to be destroyed? Esau is going to be destroyed. These other nations are going to be destroyed, of course. But Esau is going to be in the most destroyed state, and no one's going to be able to help him. Right? Well, then it says, nor to oppress him that hath gotten the victory. Who's the one that gotten the victory? The Israelites. It's already been written. Let me get that and close on that. The victory's already been written. And how did they overcome him? Right? This is Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, going into destruction of America, destruction of Esau's top kingdom, the great whore. Right, which accuseth them before our power day and night, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. So this is already written that it's already going to happen. They're coming into the time of history where this is literally the words that the Most High had this angel speak, or I don't know. It says the word. It said the loud voice coming, loud voice in heaven. So it could have been an angel or it could have been the Most High. I don't know. Right. But there's going to be a point in time where this is literally the present time, and it's fast. It's quickly approaching. All right, so it's not good to make it too long. But I'm pretty sure I started around. It's probably around 30 something minutes long. But that I hope y'all are edified. I want to say Kahla Yahweh Bashem Yahshai and Shalom.